are the kind of teacher that I would have loved to have in my school.
I'm driven by what we call as nobility of purpose. I've figured out what my purpose is. That's education.
This is a story that we hear in
That's
for 2 years. We came here
Absolutely.
only for 2 years and then
Absolutely.
we never go back.
Today I say, Gems, is there any other place where you would rather be?
And then your teachers, I mean, such inspiring teachers that you have.
No person is an island.
Yeah.
Okay? We have a community that is massively supportive.
You are a rare leader for school principals to be so open to ideas and so approachable.
We tell our parents, give us a boy, we will return a man to man.
Beautiful. Where do you get this bountiful of positive energy from?
Every morning I walk into my kindergarten and I look at those faces and I see future there. I see optimism there. I see positivity there. And I know the future is bright. Okay, that keeps me going.
Wonderful.
Apart from coffee.
Hi, welcome back. This is Ankur Vora, Intersect by Masters Union podcast series. Today we have with us Mr. Srivalsan Murugan, the principal and CEO of GEMS, our own English high school boys for Sharjah. Srivalsan sir, what an honor to have you here with us.
It's a pleasure talking to you, Ankur, and pleasure visiting Masters Union once again.
Yeah, you are back after a year. I think Intersect 3 was the last time you were here, and
That's true.
And you really enjoyed your
Absolutely.
time here, and we are so happy and excited that you are here again for Intersect 5, and you and me go long back. I mean years. I mean more than a decade of
More than
partnership.
15 years.
More than 15 years.
More than 15 years.
You know, I remember coming to your schools when I was based in Dubai, and then subsequently, even with the Indian universities, your schools became the first stop for me in UAE. And as I have said on multiple occasions, I mean, you are a rock star principal.
And you're a brand by yourself.
No, thank you so much, so kind of you. But the energy that you have, the openness to ideas that you have, the optimistic approach to education that you have, I think you are the kind of teacher that I would have loved to have in my school. Inspire people around you, encourage people around you. I think you are what a guy, and I am so blessed that I have the partnership with you, and I have you as a mentor, if I may say, use that word. Because I truly believe that we are shaped by the people around us, and your partnership with me and my relationship with you has shaped me in so many different ways. So thank you for that.
Grateful beyond words.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And Srivalsan sir, so they don't make you many. I mean, you are rare. And today is an opportunity for us at Intersect by Masters Union podcast to know a little bit more about your journey, your personal journey, your professional journey.
Happy to share anything.
Please, thank you so much for agreeing to that. So how do we try and do this is by first going back to your early years, the early childhood, the city that you grew up in, the schooling that you had, the college. So over to you, sir.
I was born in a small time place called Valparai in the hills of Animalais in Tamil Nadu. My father was a planter, and my early education was in Valparai, a school called Sacred Hearts Convent. And I was there till grade 7 or 8, and then I shifted to big time Chennai. Chennai was a great experience, from a pond to an ocean, and St. Mary's shaped me in a bigger way, the exposure and the experiences. St. Mary's was one of those very few CBSE schools at that point in time, in the 70s. I graduated from St. Mary's in 77, went to Coimbatore, where I did an undergrad program, and then to Bangalore to do my master's in geography.
Yeah, and I want to come to geography. And I was reading about you. I think you did geography in your undergrad.
Undergrad as well as my postgraduate.
So was geography like fascinating for you? Why did you choose? Because geography is not traditional, and coming from,
That's true.
yeah, right. In India, where we all talk about engineering and medicine, and and in your those years when you were studying, I'm sure this would have been a trend again, right? So why geography of all the things?
I opted to do humanities
Okay.
when I was in school. I didn't want to do science or math, uh, much to the chagrin of a large number of my own teachers. But I was always fascinated by history and geography, and still
Okay.
fascinated by that. And then I decided that this is what I want to learn. And this is keeping me, the teacher in me is always looking at how geography shapes history and the reverse and the
Wow,
converse of it.
wow,
Yeah.
wow, wow. And then, okay, you did geography, uh, and you did arts, humanities, and
Humanities.
then, uh, perfect. We can understand it till here. Then, what brought you to teaching? I mean, again, teaching is like an obvious choice for you, or
I was not into teaching. As soon as I finished my master's, I went to do a postgraduate diploma in development planning in Pune. It
okay,
was there that I had I had an interview with the National Institute for Educational Planning and Administration, and I was selected there in Delhi,
oh, NEPA, oh,
Nepal.
wow,
And I was with them in their training facility. It was at that point in time I saw an advertisement for teachers at the Lawrence School, Lovedale. And I was invited for an interview. Mr. Bhatnagar uh, interviewed me and offered me a position. I remember that day with gratitude because I discovered that there's a teacher in me. This was in the 80s. And I stayed with the Lawrence School Lovedale, premier boarding school. And much of what I am today was shaped by those experiences.
wow,
A,
wow.
a fully residential boarding school, 700 or 800 acres of campus, and 65% wooded. I think that was paradise on earth.
Wow, I'm sure it must be. I mean, and Lawrence School, Lovedale. I've been to Lawrence School, Sanar,
Yes,
and it's a
yes,
beautiful
yes. Yeah, it's a
institution.
sister
Yeah,
school.
and Lawrence School, Lovedale. Although I've not been there, but I've seen of Sanar, I'm
Oh, you
sure.
must visit that
Yeah,
school.
it must be an amazing
It's
institution.
an
It's on my
amazing.
checklist. I have to be there. But tell us a little bit more about, you spoke about Mr. Bhatnagar. He found a teacher in you, and then you also realized that there is a teacher. We are so glad that he did, and you chose to study or go to Lawrence School to start teaching. So, what were you teaching? What were those early years of your teaching like? And what was the community like at Lawrence School?
See, it's just a fully residential school. So I did several roles. I was a teacher and I remained a teacher, but you also had subsidiary roles. I became a housemaster for the senior school. I was housemaster for Sumeru House from 1991 to 2000. That meant that I had 52 boys from grades 9 to grade 12 under my care. And my residence was attached to the dormitory. It was such a fantastic experience. I was also dean of activities, so we did several of those activities. It's being a residential school, it was just not teaching and learning. We went beyond that. Several other activities, like the Duke of Edinburgh Ward, the Round
Oh,
Square,
wow.
everything. So we were there 24/7 from August to Christmas. Then we had a winter break, and then we started again somewhere in Jan, and then we had a huge chunk of holidays during the monsoon time.
Mm,
But the boys and girls were living on campus, and that's a phenomenal experience.
yeah.
So it was one community
Community.
together.
I think,
Teachers stayed on campus, students stayed on campus.
and that beautiful campus,
It's
right?
a beautiful campus.
65% trees
Wooded
and
trees,
wooded
yeah,
and beautiful. I
yeah,
can only
yeah.
imagine,
Right.
and just being there and having that
And
education.
phenomenal facilities: basketball, football, tennis, swimming pool, everything. The gym, arts, and the theater. Brilliant.
Amazing,
Yeah.
amazing. And I'm sure the students will come from all over India. I mean, as far,
Students, yes, very cosmopolitan.
yeah,
All
cosmopolitan.
over the country. And then that time, I'm sure even now, they have the Round Square Association. They are members called of the Round Square. So tremendous exposure to schools, similar schools worldwide.
And how long? Almost a decade you spent there?
No, more than that.
More than that?
More than that. More than
Wow.
nearly
So you
13 to
fell
14
in love
years.
with that place and teaching.
Absolutely, loved it.
Yeah, I loved it. And I remember whenever we talk about Lawrence School, Sanar, last time we were speaking, you said Lovedale is a beautiful experience. that
You
had.
can never take the Lovedale out of me.
Yeah, I
I'm
can see
moved
that.
on.
I could sense that. And I said, you love the experience that you had. I
Absolutely.
think that had a transformative impact on your life and your career, and I'm sure you had on the Lovedale community. So, I mean, beautiful. I mean, what a beautiful nature, what a beautiful institution. And then from all the way from this beautiful nature, you end up in almost desert, right? In Indian school, Bahrain. How did
No,
that happen?
in between, I had two very short stints. I went to the International School
Oh,
Bangalore.
yes, you were in Selakui and
I was at
International.
the International School Bangalore for a year as it started.
So those were early years for
Early
international
years
school.
for the TISP. The first year, the very first year, I was there for a year, and then I went off to the Selakwi School in Dehradun.
That's another good institution.
Another good, great school
Yeah.
for another year.
So both are, I mean, one is in Bangalore, a very international experience. I mean, I've been to TISB multiple times and amazing institution. I mean, now it has shaped up. I think that's the first spot for us in university outreach to go and recruit from. And then you went to Selakui,
Then
another
I went
interesting,
to,
very good school.
Selakwi. I was one of the founding members of that school.
So you started working with as founding members. I mean, TISB also early years.
TISB, I joined 2 months down the line.
Okay.
And Selakwi School right from the start. But I stayed with them just for a year.
Okay.
When this brilliant opportunity to be the deputy head of the Indian School
Bahrain, yeah.
that came in. And like any Indian, I said I will go and explore.
Which
the
year
Gulf.
was this?
This was 2002.
2002.
2000.
Okay.
So I said, let me go and explore that space for 2 to 3 years and come back.
This is a story that we hear in
That's
the Gulf for 2 years. We came here
Absolutely.
only for 2 years and then we never
Absolutely.
go back.
So I was fortunate to have been recruited by Colonel Karmachandran, who was then the principal of the Indian School Bahrain. I went there as his deputy, and I stayed there till 2005 for 3 years.
3 years. And it's a very unique school because it's a community school.
It's a community school.
And it's not, and I've been
Not
to that
for
school
profit.
multiple times, and Indian school, one of the largest schools in the Middle
Absolutely.
East.
The largest school in Bahrain,
Yeah.
and in terms of its population, and I think one of the oldest in the entire Gulf.
In the entire Gulf. And because
I think they are going in for their 75-year celebration.
Yes, I just met Palina Swamiji
Mr. Palina
at the
Swami.
conference, and he was telling me that the
They are
75
going for
years,
their 75
years
possibly the
celebration.
oldest.
I think Indian school Dammam in Saudi Arabia, and then
Possibly
the biggest.
yeah,
I think
something
both
like
of them
that.
compete.
Yeah.
But a very big institution,
Huge.
and not a residential institution.
Not a residential.
And it's day scholars and a lot of NRI. I mean, also all
Massively aspirational
students.
and and most of them done extremely well. I don't know if they have an alumni network, but I am connected with many of those students, and from what I understand from all of them, students are doing extraordinarily well. They are driven.
No, I've been there. I think one of the first stops when I was in Middle East actively every 3 months I used to travel. Indian School Bahrain is a beautiful institution,
Absolutely.
and Palina Swamiji, current principal, is a dear friend, and we have collaborated, and I think fantastic. So you were there for 3 years.
I was there for 3 years.
Okay.
And that was a great experience. And being a community school, it takes in students from all segments of society. So it's a great equalizer there
Wonderful,
within the school.
wonderful, wonderful. And then we come to the place that became your home,
Yes, yes.
Gems Group.
James.
And, please tell us, how did this happen? And
I go back to those days when Dr. Farooq Wasil, who was then the principal of our own Sharjah, eh, and that time our own Sharjah hosted both the boys as well as the girls. The boys were in the afternoon shift and the girls were in the morning shift. And Dr. Wasil was visiting my school as part of a team that was the Gulf Council principals something. And he met with me, he talked, we were speaking, and at some point in time, he was asking me if I would like to go for a change.
okay,
I thought that was a question in rhetoric. I said, yes, I might want to look at this. I've heard of the GEMS group before, but I never explored it. But
this is 2005.
this is 2000. This is 2004.
Four.
But then it took almost a year before things kind of concretized. It's called for an interview by Mr. John Mason, who was director for all the Indian schools in GEMS,
Okay.
and that was a phenomenal change.
Okay.
And today I say, GEMS, is there any other place where you would rather be?
I mean, you've been there since 2005,
Five,
and
for
it's like more
21
than 2
years.
decades, 21
More
years.
than, yeah.
And so I'm sure it is. And for a person like you, who is transformative himself and inspiring, to find a home in GEMS speaks volumes about the group and the institutions that they have built.
All of us at GEMS, I'm talking about the senior leadership, I'm talking about the teachers, I'm talking about the support staff, all of us are hugely inspired by our chairperson,
Okay.
our chairman, Dr. Sani Bhatt.
Dr. Sunny. Okay.
He represents that aspect of education which I don't think the world has ever seen.
Yeah.
He's an amazingly inspirational.
And that's how the group has grown so
Absolutely.
rapidly. I mean,
Absolutely.
and it is looked at with respect. I mean, top quality institution, top quality teachers and principals. I mean, I have been to conferences in Gulf, and GEMS school principal will stand out, and you can make
Thank
make
you.
him out of a crowd. I mean, so I think phenomenal work has been happening at GEMS, and you have been a part of, I think, multiple GEMS schools. You were in Fujairah.
I joined as headmaster for the girls branch. So we were there in the morning shift. Dr. Fazil,
In Sharjah.
In Sharjah, Dr. Farooq Fazil was there. Then in 2008, I became the officiating head of that school.
Okay.
And then in 2010, I moved to our own Sharjah, our own Fujairah.
Fujairah. Yeah, I was there also.
Yeah.
Fujairah.
So I was there up until 2014 and then came back to head the boys' school in Mubila campus.
Okay.
And that was in 2014. So I've
14,
been-
you came back to head the boys' campus. Yeah.
came back to head the boys' campus. Hugely inspired by what the chairman at one point in time said, whatever be the question, education is the answer.
Wow.
And I keep repeating that every day. And I see a sense of purpose.
Yeah.
Whatever be the question, education is the answer.
Awesome.
It's an awesome.
Awesome.
We put
What
it
a
up
beautiful
across.
quote. What a beautiful quote of an inspiring man.
Hugely inspiring.
Thank you so much for sharing that. So now coming to your work at, I was at your school last year. We were there
Yes.
hosting HSL,
Right.
High School Startup League,
Right.
and met your students, and
Yes.
fantastic days spent with your community. Amazing, brilliant, bright students, and
I was thank you for that opportunity.
Thank you so
Something
much.
That we'll always remember.
no,
and we'd
and-
like to go
and-
back to that.
and we will love to come back. And then your teachers, I mean, such inspiring teachers that you have. I think if you can speak a little bit more about the community at your school, the students and the teachers.
Ankur, no person is an island.
Yeah.
Okay, we have a community that is massively supportive. We derive support and sustenance from each other. Okay, it's an ecosystem
Yeah.
where we support and sustain each other, whether the leadership or the teachers, the admin, the support staff, whatever it is. So we try to bring in that system and the parental community, the students themselves, and now we brought in the other aspect, the alumni. We derive a huge lot of
Okay.
support from our
That's a
alumni.
very good.
They return, like the National University of Singapore says, the Atlantic salmon that returns to where it was bred, for breeding.
Breeding.
Okay, like that, our alumni
Insightful.
also return
Return.
to give back to the community.
Wonderful, wonderful. And then I just want to also touch upon your role as a leader of that institution. And as I mentioned in the beginning, you are a rare leader for a school principal to be so open to ideas and so approachable. We can speak our heart out to you. And I've been to your school, and I saw that energy within rapport within the teachers as well with you. Quite open conversations were happening on the table, and talking about the growth of the school, the students, and the community. So what is your thought on school leadership? As what are those qualities that you think a school leader should have in today's age?
See, I'll talk about myself.
Yeah.
I'm driven by what we call as nobility of purpose. I've figured out what my purpose is. That's education.
Absolutely.
And with my own set of students, there is a mantra that goes along like this. It says, we say, what is right for our boys is right for all of us. What is not right for our boys is not right for any one of us. Right? That's
Brilliant.
one.
Brilliant.
Another thing which we say, it's a promise to our parents. We tell our parents, give us a boy, we will return a man who matters.
Beautiful.
Transforming boys into men who matter and who will positively change the world. Change the world positively.
Yeah. I think that's enough. If you can do that,
We're trying.
Yeah, absolutely
We're trying.
brilliant. We met some of your students; they were amazing, as I said, and brilliant. So you are succeeding, and more power to you. And please go ahead and keep doing that.
Thank you.
Because you are. You correct me if I'm wrong. Most of your community comes from NRI families.
Yes. They're all
Away from India.
away from India. Maybe some of them are possibly second generation.
Second generation.
And both parents are working. So we have those challenges alongside.
Yeah.
But what is a school without a challenge?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much for sharing that. And now, a couple of questions about, first, you have been a staunch supporter of us and our Learn by Doing philosophy. And you mentioned you were here 1 year back and you enjoyed and loved what we are trying to build here with hands-on experiential learning. You have interacted with our students, and so what's your take on what we are trying to do here at Masters Union?
I keep telling a lot of people, like when Ashoka came and you were representing Ashoka, I was asking myself why there was no Ashoka when I went to university. And the same thing I say, students currently are blessed because this is a university unlike any other.
Yeah.
And I've interacted with a large segment of your current students and some of your alumni.
Yeah,
I'm
okay.
still in touch with them.
Okay.
And I know that these are students who are driven. These are students who have a vision. And these are students who are a cut above their peers. So I think it's a phenomenal work that you're doing. And may your tribe increase.
Thank you so much for supporting us and resonating with us. I know when I came to you for Ashoka, we were bringing in liberal arts, interdisciplinary education, and you were one of those
Fantastic.
principles that really resonated and supported and encouraged. And then it happened same with Jindal, with Dr. Raj, and we visited your institution, met you, and you have always been open to new, transformative, impactful ideas in education, and now it's happening with Masters Union.
Absolutely. I see a brilliant blend of youth and experience in this place.
Amazing.
Yeah, the founder, people like Dr. Swati, people
Yeah.
like you,
Yeah.
and the visiting
Yeah.
professors, the industry practitioners. Okay, you're learning. These boys are learning. These students are learning from the very best.
Wonderful, wonderful. So finally, I mean, I just want to finish this podcast with finding the secret of your energy. What keeps you going? And where do you get this bountiful of positive energy from?
I was discussing it with Harik Saab in the conference room, and I was telling, every morning I walk into my kindergarten, and I look at those faces, and I see future there. I see optimism there. I see positivity there, and I know the future is bright. Okay, that keeps me going.
Wonderful.
Apart from coffee.
No, I'm so happy that you that keeps you going. And I add couple of more things from my
Please.
because I've had an association with you.
Right.
I also feel you are, I mean, you're really passionate about what you are doing, right? And that energy comes from you being you finding. I think this is your calling. I think
Yes.
that teaching is your calling, and that I can sense that in every conversation that I have with you, and I want to bring that aspect out as well for my viewers, that a lot of our teachers who watch this, I think becoming a teacher, the first reason has to be the positive impact that it can lead to your students'
100%.
life. And you mentioned it on multiple occasions, walking into your kindergarten, your boys, and that's where your responsibility is always looking at the glass as half full and not half empty. I think those opportunities, so it comes naturally to you because you are such a, but for somebody from the outside who meets thousands of other principals and then visits, that's my day bread and butter, visiting schools and meeting principals. You are such a rare principal and a personality. So I want people to also know this about Srivalsan sir. We should celebrate, and we need more of you in our education system and
Thank
schools.
you. I'm
Thank you
humbled.
so much.
I'm humble.
Thank you so much, sir, for the partnership and collaboration. Thank you for being here, and look forward to our continued
It is
partnership.
an association of mutual benefit.
Thank
Right?
you.
What is right for what is right for our boys, our students, is right, and that's what you guys are doing. That's what we are doing. So I think it is that the compliment is both.
More power to you, more power to Masters Union, and thank you so much.
Thank
sir.
you so much.
Thank you.
Wonderful.
Wonderful, sir. Perfect. Amazing.